Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Richard Unicorn Caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back with a I'm gonna be honest, this is a pretty interesting video, and this is pretty interesting because I stumbled across this during my time doing team-ups. I don't know if there's a glitch, and that's the thing about playing Wizard101 or playing KI video games. Like, we don't know if these are glitches or if this is intended. If it's a glitch, it will probably be patched because KI stands for killing interest, as per usual. So, yeah, this is a pretty interesting Spellment farm. And again, I don't know if this is a glitch or if it's intended. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the old Dragonspire level scaling bug with the Spellment. So, again, I don't know if this is real or not, but I've been doing it for a couple of times, and honestly, it's really fun. I run Cavity Chamber a lot. It's the last boss, final boss in Caramel of the entire world for that, area. And I run it a lot because I help out a lot of low levels there. And I noticed something funny, or at least me and Lark did. I forgot who I was playing with. I think it was Lark, but we were playing it and we got some really bizarre spellments. Like, we even got up to Darkmoor spellments, which didn't really make any sense because Caramel is like all the way to like level 140. So we were kind of confused. We kind of just shrugged it off as like a glitch. But then I went and used the level scale elixir because, why not? It's pretty much the same dungeon, just lower your stats and whatnot. And the amount of spellments you get is absolutely insane. And there's probably other dungeons or way better, instances that you can farm for spellments. However, I just thought this was pretty insane. So over here, I have a little grade, or at least a little faded image of the spellments I got as a level 180 that's level scaled to level 140. And they're pretty impressive. So as you can see, it comes with Grenadier, which is the caramel spellment. It always drops at least like one caramel spellment. But check this out. It comes with 2 freeze ray spellments, 1 s'more machine, 2 freeze ray, 1 sound of musicology, 2 wheel of fortune, 1 shadow horn, scion of death, 2 chancellor chameleon class, 1 nested fury, 2 hackett, scion of fire, 2 Fat Mania, 1 scorching scimitar, 2 the chariot, 1 scorching scimitar, 2 wheel of fortune, 1 sound of musicology, 2 bunny yips, 1 sign of balance, 2 glimpse of infinity, scion of an infinity, yep, if I pronounce that, scion of balance, and king Artorias silver toffee beans, which are used to craft some of the reagents or some of the stuff in caramel. Dude, this is an insane drop. And when I first looked at it, I was like, not only am I getting Darkmoor spellments, but I'm getting King Artorias spellments. And I'm getting Selenopolis spellments. I'm just sitting here like, there's no way that like this is coded properly. Like, there's no way. If it is, I'm not gonna question it because it is a great way to just get those spellments, especially if you are playing on random characters, or at least you're playing on multiple characters on the same account. You can throw all of your spellments in the shared bank, right? Like, that's crazy. Now, I will say that there is a little caveat to this, alright? The matter of fact, this is one of those moments where we gotta mute the volume, okay? There is a big caveat to this, okay? Listen here. So you guys know how they added in the whole shadow change, right? With all the shadow spells. So when they did that, universally they pretty much gave all the mobs that did have the shadow version of the spells pretty much the new versions of those spells. So I'm gonna be honest, and I've been seeing I have never seen so many dead low level wizards in my life. Like, it's actually kind of insane how much damage some of these bosses are doing. even bosses like the Devourer have now basically kind of gotten a buff because of the updated spell. So I'll show you a few screenshots I have of what it looks like. So here's me healing. By the way, I accidentally put Dark Shepherd in here for my Wings of Fate. Obviously, it's Shadow Seraph. I just got the two mixed up. I don't even know why I even have Dark Shepherd. I think I got that for free. I have no idea why, but don't put Dark Shepherd in if you're alive and you're trying to fuse Wings of Fate, because you'll make the silly mistake as me. So this is one of the hits from Ahsoka, and this comes in from one of the level 180 wizards. Not too bad, but if this was a low level wizard, they would have just gotten, literally, they would have just exploded. Okay? That's insane. And that comes in from the storm minion, I believe, that's in the field. Make sure you kill the first set of minions in this dungeon. A lot of people think that you gotta kill the main boss. No, you do not. You gotta kill the minions. So literally just do aura or blade and then just AoE spam until you kill all sets of the minions. But yeah, it was crazy. I highly recommend Shadow Sentinel because that got hugely buffed. Here, I finally fused Wings of Fate. Let's see, do I have a picture? Yep, here it is. Yep, right here. This happened to one of the low level wizards. Gets absolutely annihilated by a 4-pip Iron Sultan. Remember, an Iron Sultan is 4 pips. And I believe a Shadow Pip. And I believe there's a fused one. So right off the bat, you can take a massive damage. And what's crazy is, not only can the Storm Minion do this, but the regular boss, like the regular Aberrant Paradox, can actually cast like a shadow version of Iron Sultan, I believe. So this dude just ended up getting double Sultan, which was absolutely crazy. Here's another one that did 6,000 damage to this poor fire wizard. We were trying to do it in a duo, and yeah, like literally doing it level scaled is almost near impossible because I was trying to heal him, but the fact how he was taking more damage than health, I don't even think it was remotely possible. I could have like my 240 outgoing, 250 outgoing, whatever it is. He would die like every round, and they would specifically target him. Here's another one that did like 2k damage. Yeah, dude. Just like, dude, the amount of, and this, look, Sounds of Musicology did a base of like 3,700. Like, yeah, I would highly recommend you kill the Storm Minion. Like, yeah, that's just, wow. That is insane. So that is one of the caveats. But you do get some good loot. This was from a different team up. I think the Fire Wizard, we just gave up the here, but this was in a different team up. But you can see you get a lot of spellments. So yeah, that is the one caveat of, you know, doing this in a team up. And if you don't kill that Storm Minion, just know you will get Iron Sultan to the face without mercy. So now I'm going to show you exactly how to level scale and basically how it works. So go over here all the way to Caramel, Nana's HQ. Each world will have their own separate type of level scaling, scale of knowledge in a certain area. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go basically to the Cavity Chamber boss. Now, I personally like to do this before I team up, just because when I try to do it in team up and people rush into the fight, that intro cinematic will actually start, and for some reason the scale of knowledge will actually just like disappear. I don't know if that's a bug or glitch, but I think it should just stay in general. But I like to just do this beforehand, and also I can get a better understanding of my stats. Now, for Life Wizard, if you want to be a Life Wizard supporting as a level scale down level 140, the stats are going to be a little rough. So I'll show you the stats right now that I'm rocking with. I'm rocking with a lot of health, low outgoing, as you know, a little bit of critical, blah blah, and like 78 resist. The level scaling in the stat scaling, it works a little, it's a little wonky. You're gonna have to push against it. So now we can see our stats. Oh wow, we are level scaled to level 140. So max resist that I can always get is 67. Maybe you could go higher, but that's the most I've seen, or at least I've gotten. Accuracy, I think, goes down to like 16%. Critical is at 110 critical rating, not too bad. Block rating 466. Max health is all the way up to like the 13,000s, right? Pretty decent. Our max outgoing that we can get as a level 140 wizard is only at 132%, which is low for today's standards. But again, that's like the max outgoing. We got max pip chance. Arc mastery is pretty good. Shadow pip rating, I think that also gets scaled down. Let me see. Yeah, that gets, oh my god, that gets brutally scaled down. Yeah, that definitely does get scaled down a little bit. But you can see the difference of what I mean by the stat scaling. Yeah. It gets a little wonky, but you go over here, scale of knowledge. It will also tell you exactly like what it is and what it will do. Now the trick is you can only use spells within level 140. So you can't use the Selenopolis spells because that's level 170. You can't do the Wallaroo AoEs because those are level 150. It has to be level 140 spells and below. Actually, I don't even think these spells have a level. So you could actually potentially use it. I think I was thinking of like Bottom Path, which has a level scale. Let me see. Yeah, Bottom Path is like level 160, but it looks like for Top Path you could use Xan the Bandit or any of the other AoEs. It depends on what's in the level bracket. If it has a level like Choiret right here, level 170, Bottom Path, you cannot use it. I have to keep Bottom Path because I do a lot of Lemuria raids a lot. Might not even have to use Bottom Path anymore. But this is basically what I got for the deck. I might take out a lot of these things like Megataunt. Sometimes it doesn't matter, they just spam AoEs, what can I say? Highly recommend Shadow Sentinel. This will intercept 50% of damage from everybody. Back in the day, this spell used to suck and it didn't really amount to anything, but then they buffed it and I thank them for that. Because not only will this intercept 50% of damage from all of your allies, but also you'll take minus 30% reduced damage, and also it will give you a ice pip as well, which is pretty cool. So you're basically getting a pip out of it for using a shadow pip, right? Now it might take you a little bit because you're going to be going up against a shadow rating of these paradoxes, which as you know were level scaled, so it's not going to be as high as we would want it. There are some modifications I actually did, but I don't have it saved. I wouldn't use a double square socket wand like this that has a pretty cool mate cast that I never get to pull off. I would recommend something like the Root of Spring. This will drop your health down a little bit, right? Actually dramatically. But this will give you the mate cast rebirth spell, which I highly recommend by casting a 1-pip Brilliant Light, because that will definitely come in handy, especially if your team is taking a high excessive amount of damage. I'd also recommend, obviously, Prove, Defy. Maycast still work in here. You can still use enchants and stuff like that. Not to get this confused with Challenge Mode. Challenge Mode is a completely different thing that you don't have to worry about if you are level scaled, right? But when you level scale yourself, you can still use some of the, well, pretty much all of the banned spells, as long as it fits in your level bracket, right? So we can still use Shadow Sentinel, we can still use Dark Seraph, and all this other fun stuff. But for the most part, most of the runs have been successful. Obviously with the caveat being that some of the low levels will just get absolutely obliterated. And honestly, for this, you can go with whatever build you want. But as long as you have some decent spells, and also some side buffs to just kind of buff up some people. I summoned in the iRobots, I was going to, but that Fire Wizard left. But you can also add in some buffs too, so Dark Packs, you know, Dragon Spear, whatever you want, just to help them out so you're not like a total heal bot, but like 9 times out of 10, they will like do some really heavy damage early in the round, or they might give you a stun. So that's when you kind of gotta get on the defense, because again, like I said, I have seen a lot of dead low level wizards in here. And that's pretty much my deck setup. Just bring in some heals. Dude, Wings of Fate got buffed. When you fuse this together, it actually does a pretty decent amount of damage in healing. So you can kind of be like a tank slash DPS slash like healer in a sense with the Wings of Fate, you know? Pretty cool stuff. Alright, so that wraps it up for what I have to say personally about this farm experience. I just think it's crazy how it drops just like a random pool of like high level spellment, especially stuff like King Artorias. That was probably one of the ones that really caught me by surprise. I haven't seen a King Artorias spellment in a very long time. So I'll probably be running this over time, just starting team ups, or at least trying to find some people that need help with this battle, because it's a pretty fun battle. It's probably one of the only battles where I actually get to like heal and actually support the team. Obviously I could go DPS, but like I said, I have seen so many dead wizards in this battle. But overall, it's been really fun. It's honestly really fun content. I know a lot of people don't like Caramel, but I really do love this boss battle. It's really fun. So we'll wait and see from KI, aka Killing Interest, if this is the intended purpose of this boss, or any other boss that has level scaling, or just in general with the Spellment drops. These might just be like considered like world drops or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's just like general drops. Like, yeah, it's cool. You get some random Spellments. It actually makes the content worth doing. Though we'll see what happens. You know, it's KI. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is pretty fun. I love it. And I can't wait to do some more team ups. Maybe I'll even do some live streams of it, because again, really fun content. So I'll let you guys go. And if you guys have any questions about the whole level scaling thing, let me know. But like I said, just go in here, test out your stats, just see how far up you can go with the stats, and then you should be alright. But for the most part, it's pretty fun. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later, and until then, peace out.